Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into something really iconic here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sioux Falls and, well, really for the whole state.
That's absolutely right. And you might think you know it, but our research and just living here, you see how deep this one goes, culturally, economically. We are talking about the ring-necked pheasant, South Dakota's state bird.
Yeah, and it's kind of wild, isn't it, how a bird that isn't even from here originally became such a huge part of our identity.
Yeah.
So our mission today is really to unpack that journey, how it went from this exotic import to a symbol of resilience and how it impacts us every single fall right here in Sioux Falls.
Exactly. We'll look at how it got here, why it did so well here specifically, and the incredible ripple effect economically, culturally, every hunting season. Okay, let's get into it. So the ring-necked pheasant, like you said, wasn't always around. It was introduced to the U.S. Back in the late 1800s. The first successful stalking was actually out in Oregon, 1881.
Oregon, okay. But for us, here in South Dakota, the story really kicks off a bit later, right? That's where it gets really interesting for us.
Right. For South Dakota, the key moment is 1908. A fellow named H.A. Hagman released the first successful group over in Redfield.
Redfield, okay.
And the state, the Game and Fish Department, they saw the potential almost immediately. By 1911, they were actively stalking pheasants. Spink and Beetle counties were some of the first.
And get this, I read that in 1913, they actually paraded 5,000 pheasants at the state fair and then just released them across the state. Talk about a grand entrance.
Yeah, quite the spectacle, I imagine. That really set the stage, though, because the first official hunting season wasn't far behind. October 30th, 1919, over in Spink County.
Wow, 1919. And what's fascinating about that first hunt, the scale seems so small compared to now. Like 200 hunters, is that right? And they got about 200 birds.
That's right. Around 200 hunters, 200 birds harvested. But here's the amazing part. Even then, the wild population was already estimated at like 100,000 birds.
Whoa, 100,000 already. How did they multiply so fast, even before the big hunting push?
It's pretty incredible. That small initial harvest, it was just the beginning of this population explosion. By 1924, just 5 years later, the estimates were over 1 million pheasants. And remarkably, the population stayed high year after year.
Okay, so that leads to the big question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why? Why South Dakota? How did this non-native bird just absolutely thrive here in the Midwest?
Well, there were several key things that lined up perfectly. South Dakota just offered this ideal habitat, the prairie landscape. It was the perfect mix of farmland, grassland, and critically, shelter belts.
Ah, the shelter belts, those rows of trees and shrubs.
Exactly. They provided food, nesting cover, protection from predators and weather, everything the birds needed.
Plus, they're super adaptable birds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their nesting habits just fit right in. Low cover, that works well with our farms and grasslands.
It really does. And, we can't forget the look of the male birds.
Oh, yeah, the roosters. So colorful.
Right. Those bright colors make them easy to spot for hunters, sure, but it also made them visually distinctive. Standout birds. That really helped cement their place culturally, made them iconic.
It's so true. It's definitely way more than just a bird here. It's this massive event, culturally and economically. So what are we talking about economically? What's the impact on the state?
Well, if you look at the bigger picture, pheasant hunting pumps somewhere between $250 million and maybe $281 million into the South Dakota economy every year.
That's huge, 250 million plus.
It is. And what's really interesting is how this one species, an import, basically created this whole unique rural tourism thing for us. It changed the identity of some places beyond just farming.
So where does all that money go? Who's spending it?
It's driven by the hunters, of course, over 135,000 of them each year. And get this, more than half, over 73,000, are non-residents. They come here specifically for this.
73,000 people coming to South Dakota just to hunt pheasants.
Yep. And that money flows everywhere. Small town cafes, hotels, gas stations, gear shops, you name it.
Opening weekend, it really is treated like a holiday.
Yeah.
Across the state. It's not just another Saturday.
Oh, totally. You see it everywhere. The community breakfast, super early in the morning, everyone decked out in blaze orange.
Packed diners, busy bars. It's just a really special communal time. Shared meals, lots of excitement.
Yeah, I remember reading that Life magazine piece from way back in 1940. They called South Dakota a paradise for pheasant hunters, even then.
That legacy continues. And Sioux Falls, being the biggest city, Well, we play a pretty central role in all this. Our airport, Joe Foss Field, it just becomes this beehive of activity.
Right. Around opening weekend, you see stats like, what, up to 1,800 arriving plane seats a day? It feels like a friendly blaze orange invasion, and honestly, we kind of love it here in Sioux Falls.
We do. And the
Yeah.
Sioux Falls CVB, that's our Convention and Visitors Bureau, they do a fantastic job. They actually host a hunter welcome right there at the airport.
Oh, yeah, with the mugs and cookies, that's such a nice touch. It really is. Coffee, visitor guides. It's that classic Midwest hospitality, making people feel welcome the second they step off the plane. Shows genuine warmth.
And our local businesses, they definitely gear up. The
Yeah.
sporting goods stores are ready.
Yeah.
Blaze orange everything, ammo, fixing gear, even rentals sometimes.
Absolutely. And you see restaurants, hotels, breweries adjusting hours, offering hunter specials, hearty breakfasts, opening early. It's all part of creating that whole experience right here in Sioux Falls.
Some outfitters even run shuttles straight from the airport out to the lodges way out in the fields, don't they? Makes it super easy for folks flying in.
They do. Very convenient.
So, okay, for anyone listening who's thinking about coming out for this or maybe just curious, any insider tips? When should they arrive? What should they know?
Yeah, good question. For arrival, Thursday and Friday, right before opening weekend in October, those are usually the peak arrival days. And it's always best to be prepared, have your gear sorted before you come. But like we said, if you forget something or need a last-minute item, the shops in Sioux Falls have definitely got your back.
Good to know.
And here's a really important thing: lodging. If you're planning a trip, you need to book early, way early sometimes.
Right, because lots of hunters come back year after year, right?
Yeah.
They have their favorite spots, maybe stay with the same families or lodges.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about the tradition and the community that's built up around the season. People form relationships and make it an annual thing.
It really does. You know, the whole story of the ring-necked pheasant,
Yeah.
coming here, adapting, becoming this icon, it kind of mirrors South Dakota itself, doesn't it?
Mm.
Resilient, adaptable, full of character.
That's a great way to put it. And every fall, Sioux Falls really does feel like the front porch for this whole tradition. We welcome thousands of people, open arms, real hospitality, a lot of pride. And you hear all these stories. Creates these shared memories that, well, they stick around. It's a big part of what makes living here in Sioux Falls pretty special.
We really hope you enjoyed this deep dive into, one of the coolest things about our community.
Mhm.
For more insights, more chats like this, and just to connect with us on our journey of, fun, education, and building community here in wonderful Sioux Falls. You can check us out on social media. We're at yourseasonagent.com.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you being part of this deep dive.